very warm welcome to each and every one of you who've chosen to join me today. I'm Jay Rawlings, and I bring to you a regular commentary on the news that's breaking out from Israel. It's called a biblical commentary because I read what's in the Bible and then I read what's in the newspaper, and I try to put the two together. Of course, the latest event is this Israeli blockade of a freedom flotilla of 6 ships that came down from Turkey. What is this all about and what's going on? I was explaining to my family who are visiting from Canada here in Israel at breakfast this morning, and my sister-in-law said, well, why don't you tell that on TV? Why don't you tell the people what's really going on? Because I explained to them what a blockade is really all about and why is there a blockade going on of Gaza by Israel. Is it because they want to be mean to the Gazan people? No. The only reason that there's a blockade going on is because last year there was 1,000 rockets launched by Hamas terrorists into Israel. And Israel is trying to stop this, and so they don't want any more weaponry going in there. In the previous years, 10,000 rockets were launched into southern Israel to civilian areas and schools and kindergartens. And so Israel has had to take a very firm position on not allowing arms to be smuggled in to Gaza to be used against her innocent civilians. And this is what's happened. But during the same period of time when these rockets were falling, 1 million tons of humanitarian aid have come through Erez crossing into Gaza from Israel to help the people of Gaza. That's 1 ton of aid for each person. And so Israel is not, against the Gazan people and trying to hurt them and make life difficult for them. But the flotilla of ships that came down had another agenda. And that agenda was to make Israel look like they were making the Gazan people suffer. So they've come with their 6 ships, 5 of which, and they were all warned. They all were warned, said, we will escort you to our port of Ashdod. Just let us examine your cargo, and then we will help you get that cargo from there into Gaza and to the people. Now, 5 of those ships all agreed to that, but one, the largest, did not agree, and it was commissioned by another organization, IHH, who is known to be a Hamas sympathizer and supporter. Well, anyway, they were out, and you know what happened. The Israeli soldiers came by helicopter, tried to come in to see what was on board that ship, and then the scuffle broke out, and sadly, 10 of the activists were killed, and 8 Israeli soldiers, 3 of whom were seriously injured in the scuffle. It was not intention, it was not Israelis' intention at all. In fact, they were told, the soldiers were told that this is a police operation, go in with the minimum amount of force and violence to just find out what's on board that ship. And that was the whole objective of it. If they'd agreed to that, it would have worked perfectly and there would have been no violence. So let's put the blame where the blame really belongs. The blame belongs to first of all, to Hamas, who are, commandeering and taking away all human rights from people in Gaza, for example. They're also working closely with Iran to get weaponry brought in. Many ships have been found to have weapons in previous situations being brought to the Gazan Hamas leadership. Also, Israel has done everything they can to help the plight of the Gazan civilians over the years, as I mentioned. And so this scuffle is not just over a ship trying to get into Israel or into Gaza. It's actually designed to make Israel look bad and to try to make the Hamas regime have some sort of credibility. But the opposite has actually happened. And now here's what the Bible says in this matter. And it's very important that we always refer back to the book of books to see what it has to say. And here's what it says. Then you will understand what is right and just. And this is Proverbs 2, verse 9. And fair, every good path, for wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul, and discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, from men whose words are perverse, who leave the straight paths to walk in dark ways, who delight in doing wrong and rejoice in the perverseness of evil, whose paths are crooked and whose ways are devious. And so Israel is forced to deal with devious ways of the Hamas terrorists who won't recognize Israel's right to exist, who won't negotiate with Israel, who won't make any concessions, who won't even, and by the way, who have forced other Palestinians, the Fatah sympathizers, either killed them or made them go up to the West Bank. And so Israel is dealing with a very devious and a very difficult group of people who won't even acknowledge their right to exist, our right to exist here in Israel. And so it's a very complicated situation. And so when you read the paper and you see the news on your TV screens, please watch with discernment and with understanding. And God bless you. This is Jay Rawlings reporting to you for a biblical commentary on the news from Jerusalem.